ably represented by Mr. Okokan Etoabase, here present. All our distinguished representatives from the federal level of government, the president of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, a two-time honorable commissioner in Lagos State, first an honorable commissioner for finance, and later an honorable commissioner for science and tech, for works and infrastructure, a past president of the Nigerian Institute of Management, a past president, Nigeria British Chamber of Commerce and Industry, a past president of the past national president of the University of Lagos Alumni Association, a past president of the Nigeria Council of Registered Insurance Brokers, among very many other accolades. I'm talking about none other than Ashiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole, CON, Deputy President of the LCCI, Mr. Gabriel Idahosa, FCA, past President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Ashiwaju SK Onofowokon, OON, a past President of this great chamber, a three-time Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, indeed a woman of very many parts, an industrialist, an entrepreneurial expert, and indeed a philanthropist. Chief Dr. Mrs. Nike Akonde, CON. Past president of the LCCI, also present here, a man who has continued to do so wonderfully well for the, shall I say, economic sector of Nigeria, Mr. Babatunde Paul Ruwashe, FCA. Our traditional rulers here present, particularly the Oloweko, the Oba of Lagos, Oba Real One, Oshuolale Akiolu, ably represented by a retinue of white cap chiefs, I was talking about the white cap chiefs led by the Okbelua of Lagos, Chief Latif Ajose Kabiesio. I must crave the indulgence of the wonderful wife of the president of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry to please forgive me and bear with me. I respect and I honor women very specially because they occupy a special place in God's scheme of things. Please, can you put your hands together for Chief Mrs. Olawale Cole? You're very welcome, ma. We thank you for being here. Going back to the recognition of our traditional rulers here present, I'd like to recognize and welcome the Olubadan of Ibadan. Kabiesi is ably represented this morning by the Ashikpa Olubadan, High Chief Abiodun Kola Daisi Kabiesi. I recognize and I welcome also at this event this morning His Royal Majesty Oba Jimo Adewale Olawale Cole Tolualade Oshudoye the First, the Oba of Ojota Kingdom. Kábíyèsí o. I recognize and I welcome the Oníròkò of Ìrókò. Kábíyèsí Ọba Ismail Abíóyè Ọpẹ́ọlá. Kábíyèsí and his lovely Olórí here with him. We thank you very much for being here. I'd also like to quickly recognize at this point the Nasima president in person of Ide John Chinyelu Udeagbala, NPOM. We thank you very much, sir, for being here. And thank you for always being a formidable voice in the economy of this great nation. We thank you very much. I would like to quickly recognize Honorary Life Vice President of the LCCI, Engineer Mrs. J. Olu Maduka, MFR. Ma, you're very recognized. We thank you for being here. And of course, not forgetting our father, Dr. Remy Alo. We thank you so much, sir, for being here this morning. Council members and all other representatives of the LCCI, we recognize you and we welcome you. All our partners from all over the world, we recognize you and we say thank you for being here this morning. I want to also quickly recognize the head and chief executive officer of the Lagos State AIDS Control Agency, Dr. Monsurat Adeleke, and indeed her entire team. We thank you very much for being here. The Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency is here formidably represented by the General Manager, Afolabi Sholebo, Esquire, and the Company Secretary. We thank you very much for being here this morning. Directors from the Lagos State Ministry of Commerce and Industry, we recognize you and we welcome each and every one of you to this event this morning. While we're getting our seating arrangements correct, I'd like to plead with all journalists and photographers to please move from the front of the designated seats. Can we move to the sides so that our guests can have a clear view of the podium, please? While we're at the recognitions, I'd like to let you know that we have here this morning powerfully representing the Governor of Ondo State, His Excellency Arakunrin Olurotimi Akeredolu. He is represented by Honorable Lola Fadairo Fagbemi. We're very welcome, Your Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State. Can we please put our hands together for His Excellency Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu. We thank you very much for being here. Also, I'd like to let you know that Honorable Lola Fagbemi is the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Industry, and Cooperative Services in Ondo State. We thank you very much for being here. Once again, before we go ahead to take the national anthem and commence this event, photographers and cameramen, please can we move to the sides of the hall? Please can we move to the side, even as I recognize very specially and welcome the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives in Lagos State, Honorable Dr. Mrs. Lola Akonde. We welcome you, ma. Please, can we applaud her? We thank you very much, ma, for being here. She's not here alone. Her permanent secretary in that ministry is also here with her. I'm talking about Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, Mrs. Adetutu Oshosonya. We thank you very much. We thank you very much for being here. We thank all members of the Diplomatic Corps for being here. I already see here present the Rwandan High Commissioner, Ambassador Stanislas Kamanzi. Your Excellency, you're very welcome, sir. We thank you. We thank you, the President of Alliance Française de Lagos, Mrs. So Bakari. We thank you very much more for being here. Captains of industries, we thank you all for being here. I told you earlier that His Royal Majesty, the Oba of Lagos, Oba Rilwan Akiolu, is ably represented by a retinue of white-cap chiefs, ably led by the Okpelua of Lagos himself. Please put your hands together for Chief Latif Ajose and all the white-cap chiefs. Kabiesi, we thank you for being here. From the United Arab Emirates in Lagos, we have the Consulate Affairs Officer, Bashir Raji. We thank you very much for being here. Mr. Hashim Abdallah is the head of the economy for that consulate for the United Arab Emirates. We thank you very much for being here. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to welcome each and every one of us, and I crave our indulgence that we please all settle down at this point in time, even as I will respectfully crave the indulgence of all gathered here, particularly the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, ably represented by the Honorable Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, Otsumba Adeniyi Adebayo, CON, that we please all rise as we will take the national anthem. The national anthem. Thank you very much. Please, may we all be seated. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, a man who through the years continued to put Nigeria indeed on the front burner for all that he does. I'm talking about His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, ably represented by the Honorable Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, Otsumba Niyi Adebayo, CON. Can I hear your applause? Please, can we applaud Mr. President more resoundingly? The Secretary to the Government of the Federation of Nigeria, Mr. Boss Mustafa, ably represented by Mr. Okokon Etuabasi, the Director Public Affairs and Bilateral Relations. Can we please applaud the SGF? Members of the Lagos State Executive Council here present, particularly the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, a woman who has forayed through the legislative arm of government and the executive arm of government at various times and has come up and continued to work very, very strong. I'm talking about Honorable Dr. Mrs. Lola Akonde. And the Special Advisor to the Governor on Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives in Lagos State, Engineer Abiola Okonlawon Moshood Olowu. I'd like to crave the indulgence of this gathering to recognize His Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State, the only Arakuri in Nigeria. I'm talking about none other than His Excellency Arakuri Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, ably represented this morning by His Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Cooperative Services, Honorable Lola Fagbemi. Can we applaud His Excellency? The President of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Asiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole, CON, and his very, very lovely wife. Can we applaud them? The National President of the Nigeria Association of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Cooperatives, Chief Ide John Chinyelu Ugagbala. Can we please applaud him? The Chairman of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry Trade Promotion Board, Engineer Laye Kukpolui, and members of the LCCR Industries here present, particularly all our past presidents, all our live vice presidents, and indeed all our council members here present. The Oba of Lagos, Oba Rilwan Akiolu, ably represented by the White Cap Chiefs, led by the Okpelua of Lagos, Chief Latif Ajose. The Olubadan of Ibadan, His Royal Majesty, Oba Dr. Mahmood Olalekan Balogun, ably represented by the Ashipa of Ibadan, Chief Abiodun Koladaisi, not forgetting the Ojota Kingdom and all other Obas here present. The headline and partners of the year 2022 Lagos International Trade Fair, captains of industries and bank chiefs here present, service commanders, Iyalojas, market men and women, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I say welcome to the 36th edition of the Lagos International Trade Fair, holding here at the Tafawa Balewa Square. At this point in time, there is no better person to formally welcome each and every one of us than a man has continued to champion the cause of the economic sector in Nigeria. He is today the president of the foremost Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Africa. Please, can you welcome with me the president of the LCCI, Asiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole, CON. Can I hear your applause?
Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Microphone, please. I feel a bit intimidated with the protocol, and I have a temptation to want to stand on the protocol already established by the MC. But if I do that, it will not be appropriate because there are too many distinct people here today that I can afford to stand just on the protocol. Otherwise, I will break the protocol if I do that. I recognize our president of this great republic, President Muhammad Buhari, very ably represented by my very good friend and brother, a former governor in this great country, and the current Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Otumba Niyi Adebayo, CON. Thank you very much, brother, for coming. You are always there for us, and we really appreciate you. I must also acknowledge Secretary to the government of this federation, another good friend of mine, who is also very Affairs and Bilateral Relations Department. Can we have a I know the protocol is fairly long. We have the commissioner in Lagos State for Commerce, Industry, and Cooperation, my dear sister, Dr. Mrs. Lola Akonde, who is also here present. We have advisors to the many are here. I please appreciate all of you for coming. We have other governors who are here, very represented by distinguished commissioners from their states. There are so many great people here from other arms of government who are here to stand in for their different ministries and departments. Of course, my very good friend and brother, who I will refer to any day as a peace president. That peace president is no other one other than the national president of the Nigeria Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines, and Agriculture, NASIMA, my good friend and brother, Uduagbala. He's a peace president. President that loves peace, and of course, you always have peace. Deputy President of SCCI here present, Mr. Gabriel Idahosa, FCA, and Mr. Kunov, MFR. I can't afford to forget my past presidents. However, troubled I am with the long list of people who are here. We have our sister, Chief Mrs. Nika Konde, Commander of the Order of the Niger. You are welcome, ma, for being here. I can see also my dear Egbon and uncle, Ashiwaju Onafokon, OON. I can see my good friend and brother, Mr. Roashe, FCA, also a past president. Of course, we have here our sponsors. They're all over here. We have, of course, here the Deputy President of NASIMA, my good Aburo friend. You are very, very well acknowledged, Mr. Deputy President. Let them see you, to see how nice you are. Thank you. I cannot forget the royal family, because I've come from one in Lagos. We have the Oba of Lagos here, very, very well represented with these beautiful men of royalty in Lagos, the white captives of Lagos. My good brother and friend is here leading them, Chief Joseph. My brother, thank you very much for being there for us all the time. Of course, we have His Royal Majesty, the Olubado of Ibadan, very ably represented here by Chief Kola Daisy, the Ashikpa Olubado of Ibadan. Greetings to Papa and to Kabiesi. We also have here my big egbon, His Royal Majesty Engineer Jimo Adewale Olawale Cole, the Tolu Walade Oshindoye the First, the Oba of Ojota Kingdom. Kabiesi, His Royal Majesty Oba Alhaji Ismail Abioye Okpeola, the Oniroko of Iroko. Kabiesi. Please pardon me if I have a council of registered insurance brokers who is here with his vice president. May we please have you up, my brother, and the vice president. I saw her around here. Maybe she's just gone out. Thank you very much. I think I can also acknowledge honorary live vice presidents here present, council members, members of the chamber, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I am very pleased to welcome you all to the opening ceremony of the 2022 Lagos International Trade Fair, which is the 36th edition of this fair organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the foremost chamber in West Africa, the second oldest chamber in Africa, but the most vibrant chamber in the African continent. Can you please clap for ACCI, please? We are 134 years old this year, but we continue to build on the legacies of our forefathers. The first Nigerian president was in 1929. Before then, they were expatriates. And we've kept up with the tradition that Mr. Thomas left as the first African president of the chamber. I would like to express our most sincere appreciation to all of you who are here present for your presence this morning, as well as your regular interest and support for the foremost chamber in West Africa. I feel honored to play host to His Excellency, the President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, Mr. Muhammad Buhari, General Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, who is here represented by Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Otumba Adeniyi Adebayo, CON. I would also like to appreciate the Honorable Minister in his own right, because he has always been there for us at all times. Can you please clap us again for our Honorable Minister? Thank you. In the same vein, we are having the governor come in very shortly. Let me acknowledge him in advance. Under him, Lagos has experienced very, very good development, and he's been a very good friend of the chamber. May I also welcome public and private sector dignitaries, each of whom deserves special recognition. We are very honored by the presence of members of the diplomatic corps, top government officials, leaders of the organized private sector who are here present, chief executives of corporate bodies and public institutions, management of Tababala's Square, TBS, and other eminent guests who are here. We welcome you very, very warmly. Your Excellencies, the President, the Governor of Lagos State, Royal Majesties who are here present, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased to remind you that this year's edition of the Lagos International Trade Fair is being organized on the premise of our generic theme for our annual fair, which is connecting businesses, creating value. That is the theme of our fair, connecting businesses, creating values. This theme underscores the importance of relationships and networking among businesses for the purpose of wealth creation. The theme also underlines the value of interactions between producers and service providers and the end users. This is the cardinal objective of our fair today and this year. The economic conditions have been challenging, we all know, even as the economy sustains recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic and now navigating through the shocks from the Russia-Ukraine war and recently the climate change shocks in the form of devastating floods across the country and across the world. While the Nigerian economy has recorded some impressive growth figures this year, showing a sustained recovery of the economy, there are heightened fears of recession, food insecurity, and more climate change impacts. As investors, we need to continue to demonstrate our resilience and determination to forge ahead
The President of the Republic of Nigeria, we crave your indulgence through your able representative, Honorable Niyi Adebayo, CON, that we please welcome the Olowo of our kingdom. This is a first-class paramount ruler in Nigeria, one of the custodians of our tradition and culture. Hence the reason why he is so celebrated. Kábíyèsí o.
much. We welcome our prominent Oba of Owo, who has come all the way from Owo to Lagos to witness the 36th edition of the Lagos International Trade Fair. KBAC, you are welcome, sir. I continue to say that the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry is very committed to the vision of the current administration in respect of economic diversification and self-reliance. It is also encouraging to note the efforts of the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment in reviewing Nigeria's national trade policy, last updated in the year 2002. We are expecting a new national trade policy that can respond to the dynamics and new realities of the global trade system in terms of the evolution of global production networks and global value chains. We recognize the imperative of non-oil sector development and the need to add value to our primary products in order to improve the earnings from both the public and private sectors of the Nigerian economy. This trade fair this week and next week provides a platform to identify non-oil alternatives and highlights the significance of value addition equally avenue and commercial activities. We commend the recently launched Special Agro-Industrial Processing Zones program by government, by the federal government, and supported by the African Development Bank, AFDB, the Islamic Development Bank, and the International Fund for Agricultural Development. As co-financiers, the SAPZ is expected to mobilize private sector investments to develop value chains for selected crops and livestock, starting with the participating states. We look forward to an increase in export trade of agro-processed products across the continent and boosting intra-African trade under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, AFCFTA. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we need to do a lot more to attract more private capital investment into our economy. In the years ahead, our economic and investment policies must be right, and our institutions must be investment friendly. We need to fix our structural, institutional policy challenges, and of course, our regulatory issues impeding private sector development in our great country. This country, we can do double our current GDP if a lot of things are changed. We have the potentials. We have all it takes. We have the economy. We have the good people of Nigeria. And we have the love of the world for Nigeria to come and do business. But we must put our home in order to ensure that people can come in here freely and do business. Our fair this year is a flagship legacy of the Lagos Chamber. And can we please put hands together for all our past presidents who are here? Please, can you be on standing, please, to past president, please, to show up here. Thank you very much, ma'am. Sit down, sir. Sit down, ma'am. They are co-hosts to this trade fair. I'm too small to welcome you. That's why I've invited them as co-hosts. These are people who have been here many years past. Like I've said, the first African president was in the year 1929, Mr. Thomas from Lagos. So now I'm here, 2022. And these are the people who have been there, and many of them are not here because many are out of the country. They called me yesterday to give apology. I want to thank you for all you've done. This is a legacy you have left for the chamber, and I pray that those after will continue to be the legacy a worthy one, so that Nigeria can continue to be better and better. But this is the biggest trade fair in West Africa, if not in Africa, and we must make it bigger. Exhibitors, governments, and foreign embassies here in Nigeria, I thank you for coming. Let me appreciate the major sponsors of this current year's trade fair who have supported the fair in various ways. We want to thank the big UBA. Mr. UBA is here. Can we please have you? That's one of our major sponsors. Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your support all the time. We also appreciate Afri-Exim Bank. I don't know they are here. I don't think they are here, but they've given us a very, very substantial support for this trade fair. Dangote Group, please clap for these people, please. Thank you very much. Choice International Group, MTN Nigeria, Day United Food Limited, Bank of Industry, Mikano International Limited, Industries, Investments Limited, Live Made Furniture, and the Bank of Industry. And of course, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS. Can you please clap for all our supporters? Without them, we would not be here. This fair requires a lot of money every year. And I will tell you, we do this fair every year with hundreds of millions. And we can't make the money from what people pay. All we are doing is giving service to the country. We are not here to make profit. But if not for these sponsors, we would not have been able to organize this trade fair. And the fee to come in is only 300 naira, just like last year, or to encourage more people to come in. And what's happening here is we can do a lot of contracts after this trade fair. I want to, on my closing note, I want to appreciate the inestimable contribution of the media and the Lagos International for this fair over the years. As we celebrate more than 3 decades of this fair, this is the 36th edition. This fair was handed over to us by the federal government, and we've been doing this 36 years consistently uninterrupted. And I pray that God will give us the grace to keep doing so. Thank you. I want to thank you all for coming. I appreciate you. My prayer is that Nigeria will keep doing better and better. Can you say amen? The fear about Nigeria will not come to pass. Nigeria will survive. Whatever people want to do for this country in their own evil ways will not come to pass. Because Nigeria is greater than any Nigerian. And all those who are planning evil for Nigeria, the law will address them and keep Nigeria safe for all of us. And Nigeria shall rise again, and Nigeria shall prosper. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.
Please can we applaud the president of the LCCI once again, Asiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Ko, CON. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, ably represented by our dear Honorable Minister for Industry, and all other cuts duly extended. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, particularly members of the diplomatic corps here present, I'm sure very many of us were left in awe when we saw the entry of one of our revered traditional rulers. That's because we hold them in very high esteem in this part of the world. They are the custodians of our tradition and culture. And indeed, in Yoruba land, we believe that they are the representative of the Creator here on earth. I'd like to crave your indulgence to all say Kabiesi as I welcome the Olowo of our kingdom, Oba Ajibade Badegeshi. Kabiesi, long may you reign. We thank you very much for being here. At this point in time, Your Excellency, all courtesies duly extended, ladies and gentlemen, we will be moving ahead with this program when we will be taking the first goodwill message at this event. It will be coming from none other than a voice in the organized private sector that keeps government at all levels on their toes, ensuring that indeed they have what it takes and do what is right for the ordinary Nigerian. Please welcome to the podium the National President of the NASIMA, Chief Ide John Chinyelu Udiagbala, NPOM KSJ. Can I hear your applause? Can I hear your applause?
Thank you all, thank you. I have to borrow a leaf from Mr. President. The protocol list is so long. But I want to stand on the already established protocol while acknowledging the presence of our head of state, Muhammad Buhari, ably represented by our own supervising minister, our own Otumbani. And I want to thank all distinguished ladies and gentlemen and all our rulers. You are welcome. It is a great pleasure to me to be here today at the opening ceremony of the annual Lagos International Trade Fair organized by Lagos Chamber of Commerce. On behalf of the Council and entire members of the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA, I bring warm greetings to all distinguished guests and participants here today. I sincerely congratulate LCCI for their consistency in staging this fair. And I would also like to sincerely commend the Lagos State Governor, His Excellency Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, and his administration for the support they continue to offer to the chamber movement in Lagos State, which has ensured prevailing viable business environment in the state, nurturing the economy of Lagos State to become one of the largest economies in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, let me focus on my speech, which centers on the current state of our economy and the way forward. As we all know, we are faced with so many socio-economic challenges in our nations today, ranging from unemployment and brain drain to inflation, insecurity, flooding, and climate change effects, poor and unstable power supply, and many more. But permit me to focus on just two major economic issues and profile possible solutions from the organized private sector's view. First of all, we have to comment on the redesigning of and reprinting of Naira notes. NASIMA wishes to commend the Apex Bank for the redesigning of Naira notes, which NASIMA believes should have been done about 5 years ago. There is no doubt this will significantly help to control currency circulation outside the banking system and enhance monetary policy control as a measure to further control inflation. This will also improve currency security and general security, as counterfeit currencies will be eliminated and various security agencies are able to effectively track cash movement. This will also improve use of technology in our banking system and enhance growing adoption of cashless money transfers. We go to the 2023 budget. NASIMA commends the federal government for their timely presentation of the 2023 national budget to the National Assembly. However, we note with deep concern the rising cost of governance as proposed in the 2023 budget of 20.51 trillion planned expenditure. Planned expenditures for debt servicing will surpass the budgeted amount for capital expenditures by at least 15%. This is very worrisome. Also, government's entire physical operations will result in deficit of 10.78 trillion naira. This exceeds by 4.78% Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007, which recommends a 3% benchmark of predicted GDP. Estimated revenue of 11.03 trillion naira compared to the largest portion of the spending, non-debt recurrent expenditure of 8.27 trillion and debt servicing of 6.311 shows 25% of additional revenue. No, shows that 25% of additional revenue will be required to cover these elements of the 2023 budget. When we compare the 2023 budget with outcome of previous year's budget, in which we borrowed more to service debt, it gives us grave concerns about the economic outlook for the coming year. We fear that the nation may be heading for more borrowing with a heavy or heavier multiplier adverse consequences on the already overburdened economy. If drastic measures are not taken to enhance revenue generation and expenditure controls, such as eliminating crude oil theft, to enhance national crude oil production output, and a mix of fiscal monetary measures to control inflation. Equally of concern are the parameters of assumptions in the 2023 budget estimation. Most especially the dollar to naira conversion rate, which exchanges at 435.57 per dollar. Most businesses in the country thrive on parallel foreign exchange market rates, currently fluctuating. We all know it now. My speech had it at 7:30, but as of this morning, I hear it's above 850 to 900 to a dollar, and continues to depreciate with no measurable checks in sight by the monetary authorities. This is a heavy concern for the business community. Consequently, most manufacturers will continue to purchase dollars at the parallel market in the coming year. It is therefore evident that the 2023 budget is not a true reflection of the economic realities of today's Nigeria. While speaking in the budget presentation at the National Assembly, the President and Commander-in-Chief promised that effective implementation of policy measures aimed at positioning the manufacturing sector for greater productivity output and economic growth and stimulate local and foreign investment will be guaranteed. We are looking forward to that. NASIMA, being the voice of Nigerian businesses and a leading member of the Organized Public Sector, OPS, welcomes this development and urges the government to fulfill its promise. Otherwise, Nigerians' participation in AFCFTA will be affected and Nigerian market will become a dumping ground for other African countries. Visible economic game changer. The visit of NASIMA to Afro-Asian Bank headquarters in Cairo, Egypt.
Distinguished guests, distinguished guests, this is announcing the arrival of the Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. Please can we applaud Mr. Governor? I crave your indulgence, please can we applaud Mr. Governor? We thank you very much, sir. And while Mr. Governor was coming in, I'd like to let you know that the president of NASIMA, Chief Ide John Chinyelu Odiagbala, was giving us his remarks. Thank you very much, sir.
Your Excellency, you are welcome, sir. We've already acknowledged your contributions. Thank you, sir. Visible economic game changer. One major move by NASIMA, worthy of special mention, is my recent visit to Cairo, Egypt, with my team to discuss with Afro-Exim Bank on the possibilities of Nigeria hosting the 2027 IATF. Hosting of the fair is of economic interest since it will bring infrastructural development to the host city. There is a possibility of Nigeria succeeding in 2025 IATF bid, as a decision on the city to host the 2025 edition has not yet been taken. Moreover, the AU presidents have taken over the final decision for the city or the country that we host. It is important that our government buy into the bid for the fair, as the government will need to provide the infrastructure, which includes security, challenges, foreign exchange, and availability for the fair. Some economic benefits include foreign exchange earnings, infrastructural development, and reviving of dying SMEs. IATF is a vehicle being used to promote trade and exhibition. However, for Nigeria to benefit from this, we must take care of our socio-economic challenges, such as infrastructure deficits, foreign exchange challenges, and the likes. Also discussed is the possibility of setting up a vocational skills training center in major manufacturing industries with equipped workshops. NASIMA has been a very serious advocate of this because our semi-skilled labor is dwindling. It may interest you all that we are now issuing expatriate quota for semi-skilled laborers from the neighboring West African countries. NASIMA will soon initiate a meeting with relevant government MDS in this regard. We suggest that this vocational training should be accommodated under TED Fund, which is meant for educational purposes. Let us all recall that the industrial sector is primarily responsible for the funding of TED Fund and should therefore be beneficiaries to the funding of vocational skilled labor before our industries collapse. And the country, to avoid being the proverbial golden goose that lays the golden egg and ended up not benefiting. It is just very simple. It is the industries and businesses that contribute the TED Fund. So we hope that government will do some readjustments in order for us to have vocational training schools in place. NASIMA is very willing to work with the government and its ministries, departments and agencies in pursuit and achievement of this laudable economic project. The economic multiplier benefits are quantum to Nigeria, and this could be economic game changer to the socio-economic challenges Nigeria is currently facing. It is the hope of NASIMA and organized private sectors in general that government will chart its course towards addressing these challenges in line with our numerous suggestions outlined and place our economy on prosperous paths. Once again, I strongly commend and congratulate LCCI for their persistence and unrelenting efforts at staging this fair, in spite of the socio-economic challenges, and the participants too for being able to weather the economic challenges of our time. Thank you all, and God bless.
Please, can we applaud the NASIMA President, Ide John Chinyelu Udiagbala. We thank you very much, sir. We thank you. The President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, ably represented by the Honorable Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, His Excellency Otumba Niyi Adebayo, CON. The SGF, Boss Mustafa, ably represented by Mr. Eto Abasi. Our dear Governor, the Governor of Lagos State, and the man who is our landlord here at the TBS, doing exploits for Nigeria. Please put your hands together and welcome with me, Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu. I thought you would applaud him more resoundingly. We thank you very much. And his brother from Ondo State, His Excellency Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, ably represented by the Commissioner of Commerce, Industry and Investment, Honorable Lola Fagbemi, members of the State Executive Council, particularly the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Cooperatives, Honorable Dr. Mrs. Lola Akonde, all courtesies duly extended, ladies and gentlemen. At this point in time, we will be moving ahead at the 36th edition of the Lagos International Trade Fair, the biggest and the best any side of Africa, with a goodwill message, and it is coming from our headline partner, the United Bank for Africa, UBA. Please welcome with me the Group Deputy Managing Director, representing the Group Managing Director, Mr. Muyiwa Akinyemi. Can we please applaud him more resoundingly as he comes up?
Good morning, Mr. President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, ably represented by our Minister, Honorable my ex-Governor Otumba Niyi Adebayo, Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, I would rather want to stand on other existing protocols, if you don't mind. And my name is Muyiwa Akiemi. I'm the Group Deputy Managing Director of UBA Group. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you to the 36th edition of the Lagos International Trade Fair, themed Creating Value, Connecting Businesses. This connects exactly to what UBA is all about. United Bank for Africa is a 73-year-old business connecting businesses across 24 countries, 4 continents today. In our business, our relationship with Lagos State Trade Fair started in 1977, way back then. And we're proud to be the headline sponsor for the 3rd year running. It says, proud to be able to, because okay, my apologies. UBA has always participated with Lagos State International Trade Fair based on the alignment of what it represents and our business. One of the key themes of our business is trade and development of businesses across various geographies where we operate. UBA is headquartered in Lagos, started out in 1949, and we are proud to be a Lagos international global business. Becoming the lead sponsor or partner for the LITF has always been mutually beneficial to us, because as Africa's global bank, we're able to connect traders and trade opportunities from Lagos to all the continents where we are represented, from UAE to America to the UK, and also across geographies in Africa where we're present, from Senegal to Mozambique. We provide a platform of opportunities for traders and all exhibitors who will be participating in this year's edition to be able to connect with those who would also want to trade with them. Not only that, UBA today is at the forefront of partnering with Afrexim and AFCFTA program as well, and initiatives. We are one of 2 banks who are leading a pilot payment platform called Pan-African Payment Platforms that will allow for local currency payments amongst geographies across Africa, so that one day, very soon enough, a trader in Senegal will be able to pay to another trader in Nigeria in local currency without having to resort to foreign currency, thereby reducing the influence or the dependence on foreign currency for trade settlements amongst traders and companies or businesses operating across Africa. Because we believe that Africa can only be developed not just by donations, but by businesses and opportunities that exist across our 1.4 billion people continent. Today, we give exposures to SMEs across all our geographies and their value chains to be able to support them with financing and also payment platforms that facilitate their trade and their activities across Africa. We will continue to invest in the SME value chain, because we believe that that's the engine for growth of any economic growth in Africa and in Nigeria, and more particularly in Lagos, where we are headquartered. We will continue to also support the export activities across Nigeria and Africa. Today, UBA is the #1 bank in terms of export business in Nigeria. As a date, we've also done over $27 billion of trade across the African continent, of which a very significant proportion comes out of Nigeria. Not only because we are present, but because we understand trade across our continent. We also do understand that LCCI focuses, based on the theme, on creating value by connecting businesses, which aligns with a few of the things, our mission of creating stakeholders. Once again, I'd like to thank the management of Lagos International Trade Fair for the opportunity given to our bank to be able to be here today as a sponsor for the 36th edition of the Trade Fair. I implore each and every one to please visit our stand to be able to experience some of the unique value propositions that we have for you, not only to every part of the world, 4 continents, 24 countries. UBA is Africa's global bank. Thank you, and have a good morning.
We thank you very much, UBA, the bank that is around 4 continents, and that global bank for all of us. Mr. President, ably represented, all courtesies extended, ladies and gentlemen, it is the turn to take a goodwill message, a very important one at this event. And that message is coming from a gentleman who, at one point in time, he too passed through UBA. So we know the worth of UBA. We thank you very much. Because if UBA could actually harbor a gentleman with this expertise, with this prowess, and this visionary power, then indeed it is a good one. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, little did Lagosians know about 3.5 years ago that this man they were voting for was a divine intervention. The 15th governor of Lagos State. We call him Mr. Sellable. You call him the good governor in Nigeria. Please welcome with me none other than the governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. Can I hear your applause, please?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Sola, I don't know who told you the UBA story, but indeed, my dear bro knows that when we were there too, he had not joined then. But interestingly, GMD also worked with me. So we're proud to be alumni of UBA, and the bank is actually doing great things. The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, here ably represented by my Egbon, my senior brother, a former governor of the state, the current Minister for Industry, Trade and Investment, His Excellency, my look-alike, Otumba Niyi Adebayo, Senior Advocate, CON, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Mr. Boss Mustafa, here ably represented by Deputy Director, Mr. Okonkwo Etoabasi. Thank you very much. Representative of His Excellency, the Governor of Ondo State, the Honorable Commissioner for Industry, Cabinet members of Lagos State that are here, especially Commissioner for Cooperatives, Commerce and Industry and Cooperatives, Dr. Lola Konde, the President, Chairman and Council of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, a true Lagosian, and a Nigerian of many, many, many divides, Ashiwaju Dr. Michael Olawale Cole, CON, and his amiable wife, Mrs. Adebola Olawale Cole. I think he deserves a round of applause. Yes. Thank you. The National President of the Association of Commerce Industry Mines, Chief Ide John Chielu. Thank you very much, sir. The Chairman of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, Engineer Lawiye Lupe, and members of the Lagos Chamber of Commerce, representative of Oba of Lagos, Yopelua himself, and other white captives, representative of Olubadan of Ibadan, here represented by Ashipa of Ibadan, Chief Abiola Kola Daisi, and other royal fathers that are here. I also want to acknowledge all of our chieftains of industry. I can see Chief Mrs. Nikia Akonde here. She's always ever present, and she's the past president of LCCI. I can see Egbon Babatunde Paul Rishewe, the past president of FCCI. I can see Ashiwaju SK Onon Fowokon,
the past president of FCCI. I think they all deserve a round of applause. They are the ones that have built the foundation of what we're seeing here today. Mr. Gabriel Idausa, a former chairman of Trade Promotion Board, and of course, other captains of industry that are here. All of you are warmly, warmly acknowledged, and you are welcome to this very, very important event. Gentlemen of the press, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I consider it yet another great privilege and an honor to be here to address you at the opening ceremony of the 36th edition of the Lagos International Trade Fair, the foremost and the most outstanding trade fair in the entire sub-Saharan Africa. Since its inception 36 years ago, it has continued to live its bill, and it has continued to show the way for others to follow. But let me also give you a Lagos welcome. Let me welcome all of our participants, all of our businesses, and all of our invited guests to Lagos, to the commercial and economic nerve center of our country, to the center of excellence, and to the state of aquatic splendor, to the heartbeat of our country, and to a city and a state that has continued to be home to all peace-loving Nigerians, both local and international. And of course, has also the residence for a large international community. Honorable Minister, we're happy to have you. We know that you are a quasi-Lagosian, but this is the heartbeat of your ministry. You know, this is where your people in commerce, trade, and investment, this is where they reside. So all of us are welcoming you back home again. Let me start by applauding the efforts of the leadership of LCCI. And you can see the leadership here being fully exhibited. The current president is not working alone. You can see with the retinue of former presidents that are here to support him. So he speaks to the real leadership of the chamber. I must commend the efforts of the chamber at helping businesses develop from conception stage into big successful businesses that they all have today. I'm particularly excited with the theme that you've chosen for this year, connecting businesses, creating value. Connecting businesses, creating value. And I'm sure you know, as shareholders, one of the core objectives is you want to create shareholder value. You want to create value for your customers, you want to create value for your stakeholders, for your shareholders, and for everybody that has everything to do with your businesses. And so I cannot agree less with the intent and the purpose of this theme. Given the very prevailing harsh economic realities, global uncertainties that we're all facing, and so the important tactics that needs for businesses to thrive, both small and large, for them to be able to connect with others, to acquire and to retain customers, to increase their brand awareness, and to differentiate their place in the marketplace. It is indeed a very, very, very competitive one, and a long one that I know that businesses are facing right now. There's no gainsaying that most of the businesses that are participating at the fair today are small, micro, small, medium enterprises, which are indeed the bedrock for a sustainable development in our economy and in most global economy. In Nigeria, this sector is the heartbeat of our industry and economic development. Lagos understands and appreciates what the MSMEs bring to the table, what value you create, the amount of wealth that you generate, and the amount of opportunity and job creation that you continue to give to all of our citizens. In achieving the sustainable development goals and in achieving, the very huge challenge that we've set for ourselves as a state and as a country. And so as an administration, priority will continue to be given to the business environment, especially to the MSMEs. Of course, when you have an economy that is growing at the rate at which Lagos is growing, population inching closer to 25 million, being the 6th fastest growing economy, not only in Africa or in a larger part of the world, also contributing a significant part, of the GDP of this state, of this country. We know that indeed Lagos has a big place for MSMEs and a big place for businesses in our country. Therefore, it's imperative for us to formulate and implement policies, programs, and projects that will help propel our state to not just be globally competitive, to be a resilient state, to be a state that will continue to attract investment, to be a state that will continue to be home to these great businesses and create the conducive environment for them to grow and to do well. As a government, we'll continue to make giant strides at formulating policies and programs that will make your businesses survive, even at these very difficult times. It's our quest to build a globally competitive economy, especially through the MSMEs. We have improved considerably our economic policy coordination and implementation. We have encouraged partnership across all status. We're using a PPP model in almost all spheres of our businesses, not only in infrastructure, not only in health, but also even in education, and ensuring that we can very creatively utilize, the very deep available resources that are trapped in the private sector, and government also sitting with you to ensure that we can attract those investments into public goods, and we can create, an ambience where PPP models continue to work well in our system. And I'm sure you also know that we continue to look at how we will want to reduce the ease of doing business in our environment, how we need to ensure that we deliberately look at things that will make your businesses to flourish. I know that if I give you all opportunity to say one thing or the other, there will be issues around double taxation, there will be issues around government policies that are not very attractive. It is not that we're unaware. We're actually trying to do our very best to ensure that in Lagos State we create a one-stop shop for a lot of interaction. We want to create a business model where everything you require can indeed reside and relate only with one office. It's been very difficult, but it's a challenge and it's something that we're aspiring to be able to achieve in a not too distant future. And you also know that globally, the whole world is going through a lot of turbulence. There has been several global logistic disruptions, the war in Ukraine and Russia. We are even as far as they are, we are not immune to it. We've seen the somersault, of oil globally. We've seen disruption in global supply chain. We're also coming out from a very, very difficult, COVID-19 pandemic, which I dare say that is still, rearing its head in some other parts of the world. And so these are some of the disruptions that we're beginning to see, and I'm sure as businesses, it continues to affect, your business and your livelihood. We also begin to see, and I'm sure the minister will see to that, a lot of challenge with a galloping inflation that we have in our economy. We've seen inconsistency, with the foreign currency market, and I dare say that it's such a very, very difficult time for anybody and everybody in position of leadership. You can see there's been political instability in different parts of the world, and I'm sure you know that Nigeria is not immune to that. But even in very difficult times, we need to continue to be able to create that enabling environment for businesses to thrive, for them to have some semblance of predictability, some semblance of definitiveness around what the government issues and what government programs will be, so that they can plan, they can take the risk, and they can continue to create job employment and job opportunity for all of our citizens. For us as a government, we continue to look at what this play is and what we need to do. And we see that indeed, part of our program is to see how we can take a lot of our youth, out of the unemployment market. And so that's why we're using several arms in technology, in self-starters, in small businesses, to be able to add on, our own voice to it. We're creating a platform where we're building, new startups, intervention for some of our, creative minds, for some of our tech experts. Lagos continues to remain home to a lot of the large tech startups in Africa. but we're also ensuring that we can create that ecosystem where even the ones that don't have, startup grants, startup funds to build their businesses, the state government is giving them the grant using our Lagos Science and Research Innovation Council. To date, we've given grants to over 100 in millions just so that they can start up. We're also looking at implementing using the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. Lagos State Employment Trust Fund in the last 3 years has intervened in almost 40,000 small businesses. And they're giving them different forms of support, from grants to training to capacity development to understanding and appreciating how to even write small business, business report and how to be able to make your project and your investment bankable. So the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund continues to provide that. In the last couple of years, like I said, close to 40,000. I've had one form of interventions, using that organ, of government or the other. And so I want to use this opportunity to tell some of our businesses, some of our small businesses that are here, to take advantage of this opportunity, right? It might not be something that you get the very first day that you get there, but it's open to all. It's open to all of our citizens, and they are not adverse to whatever line of business you have. They can continue, to give you their assistance. Also, another industry which doesn't have to do with commerce and industry, but which is also a critical industry that government is also intervening, is in the creative industry. We see them, as a strong employer of labor, and as a government, we also put in grants, we put in funding for them, for that industry to continue to project, their creative minds and continue to, take the very positive narrative of our country, to take it even outside of this shore. So all of these interventions are available. All of this funding are available. We also have a tourism grant as well that we're also giving to the tourism sector. So these are some of the areas in which government are ensuring that we can indeed be an activator, for job creation. Whilst government cannot in itself employ all of the people that needs employment, but we understand and will appreciate that when we work with the private sector, who are the real engines of growth, with working with you and giving you the right, environment, you can indeed create those jobs that is needed there, and we can reduce and reverse the Japa syndrome that is prevalent in our country. I want to conclude by, again, commending the leadership of LCCI. I want to say that, indeed, you should not relent in your efforts. You should not be deterred. You should not give up. Whatever difficulties we're all facing or going through right now, it will just be for a time. Government will ensure that we continue to propagate good policies, open door, and access to whatever are your challenges, whatever your yearnings are. And together, we believe we can resolve it. I earnestly urge you once again to continue to initiate and to develop more opportunities to support businesses, especially, like I said, our young upcoming entrepreneurs who have great potential by rewriting our country's history and providing opportunity for the future economics that we see. Undoubtedly, our continued partnership will yield a bountiful return in the future. Let me further assure you that we shall not rest on our oars until business proposition is guaranteed, that because our administration is not unaware, like I said, that the challenges are there, but we are on the track at ensuring that Lagos remain home, becomes a mega city of our choice, and remain the biggest economy that we have in the whole of sub-Saharan Africa. We know that the issues also around climate change is also real. You can see also the rain coming down. And so the issues around climate change is also some of the things that we need to be able to begin to innovate and think about. And think about smart solutions that can bring about, quicker response to the challenges. COP27 is around the corner next week. And I'm sure that with some of you that will also be joining, government agencies and government representatives, it will foster that opportunity, because that is also one place where we believe that capital is also trapped. That's one of the places where we believe that there are global trends of capital that we can also take opportunity of and make sure that the kind of businesses that we're throwing out are businesses of the future. You know, we need to continue to think out of the box. We need to continue to innovate. We need to continue to, ensure that, status quo is not acceptable, in whatever business we find ourselves. As a government, I want to pledge again that we'll continue to provide that space for you, that opportunity for you, that listening here for you. Because indeed, we appreciate and we know that it's only when we work together collaboratively that we can build, a future that we desire, and we can build an economy that is sustainable for today and for the generations that are coming behind. Thank you all very much for listening, and I wish you the very best for the next 10 days, and all of the businesses that will be consummated here at the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry Trade Fair. Thank you.
I crave your indulgence to please applaud with me once again the Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. We thank you very much, sir. And indeed, we can attest to the fact that home is not just a place. It is much more than that. It is a feeling of safety, security, and an assurance that when you get there, you will prosper. And Lagos is that place. If you agree with me, can you please applaud the Lagos State government? We thank you very much, sir. At this point in time, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to let you know that after listening to the helmsman from the economic capital of Nigeria, it is only proper that we listen, appreciate, and moving forward, declare open the 36th edition of the biggest trade fair in Africa. I'm talking about the Lagos International Trade Fair. There is no better person to do that than His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR. He is ably represented by a man who is donning about 5 different caps this morning. He is a friend of our own governor in Lagos State. He is a brother of our own governor in Lagos State. He is a former governor of a great state in Nigeria. He is also the Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade, and Investment. Please, can you put your hands together most resoundingly for a Lagos boy? And I know why I will let you know later. His Excellency, Otumba Adeniyi Adebayo, CON, representing the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Can I hear your applause for Mr. President?
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, I thank you very much for welcoming me back to Lagos. People say that Ile Baba Omo Ki n Bomo Leru. In my case, it's the case of Ile Ano Omo Ki n Bomo Leru. My wife is from Lagos, so that is my relationship with Lagos. Apart from the fact that I grew up in Lagos, of course. The representative of governors here present, the representative of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Honorable Commissioners of Industry and Commerce of the various states here present, members of the Diplomatic Corps, the National President of NASIMA, the President of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, the past President of the Lagos Chamber, and of course my dear auntie, the former Minister of Industry, who is also a past president of the chamber. Mo júbà àwọn kábíyèsí àtàwọn aṣojú kábíyèsí tó wà níbí. Kádé pẹ́ lórí, kí bàtà pẹ́ lẹ́sẹ̀, káṣẹ́ pẹ́ lẹ́nu, ìrùkẹ̀rẹ̀ adábẹ́rẹ́. Captains of industry and top businessmen here present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. To enable us to save time, I ask that the cultural display be put on hold. And also I took cognizance of the fact that when Kabesi, the Olowo of Owo, came in, we were entertained by a cultural display. So I think that more than makes up for what that we removed. Kabesi, Adupeo. As has been pointed out, I am here to represent my boss, His Excellency, President Muhammadu Buhari, GTFR. The speech I'm about to read is his speech, and the words are his. So any blame for content can be passed to him through me. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a good afternoon. I am delighted to attend this year's Lagos International Trade Fair. The essence of trade is connecting people and businesses to create value. The businesses that will be showcased at this trade fair portray the realization of the action plan of this administration. We all know the important role that trade plays in stimulating our economy and driving sustainable development. Through increased trade, our goals of job creation, GDP growth, increased foreign exchange earnings, and reduced insecurity are actualized. The development of export trade takes this a step further and helps our nation reach its economic diversification goals. As you are aware, Nigeria has signed and ratified the agreement establishing the African Continental Free Trade Area. This agreement will dramatically boost intra-Africa trade and is expected to deliver an integrated continental market consisting of 1.3 billion consumers. This is a great opportunity for Nigeria. Our international trade is currently doing well, with trade surplus between January and June of 2022 in excess of 3.2 trillion naira. The African CFTA, however, gives us the opportunity to do much better. To achieve this, the public and private sectors must work together. The private sector can help boost the demand for Nigerian products by aggressively pursuing value addition and increasing the quality of exported goods originating from our country. This trade fair is a great opportunity to showcase Nigeria's capacity to produce to international standards. The public sector will continue to drive investment into infrastructure development, encourage access to low-cost financing, and provide fiscal incentives to companies wishing to manufacture products for sale. These incentives include 3 to 5 year tax holidays for enterprises in what we deem pioneer industries, tax-free operations and capital allowances for agriculture, manufacturing, and engineering within our free trade zones. The federal government has taken much needed steps to improve the trading environment, some of which include creation of special economic zones. We have 17 operational special economic zones, with 4 more currently under construction. 14 of these are general economic zones which support export processing, large-scale manufacturing, warehousing, logistics services, tourism, food processing and packaging, and technology development. The remaining 3 are dedicated to oil and gas-related activities. The federal government has also provided funding support through the Central Bank of Nigeria and the Bank of Industry. Specifically, the Central Bank of Nigeria has initiated programs to encourage domestic production and exports, some of which include the Anchor Borrows Program, the federal government of Nigeria Special Intervention Fund for MSME, and the 150 billion targeted credit facility. The federal government has also successfully disbursed a total of 785 billion naira through the Bank of Industry since 2019 to date. The government has also granted fiscal incentives to businesses across multiple sectors through the Federal Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning. As you may be aware, our pay-as-you-earn, payee, and company income tax, CIT taxes, are among the lowest in the world. In fact, small businesses with an annual turnover of less than 25 million naira are exempted from paying company income tax. And a lower income tax rate of 20% is also provided for companies whose yearly turnover is between 25 million and 100 million naira. The Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment is reviewing and updating our national trade policy in order to firmly establish Nigeria as a worldwide trading hub and a regional leader. This policy will aim to maximize our economic output, expand infrastructural development, promote business growth, industrialization, and entrepreneurship. While we take these strides, it is important that all national policy makers, business leaders, and trade development partners know that the synergy and cooperation between all parties is cardinal to enhancing trade in Nigeria. Through effective partnerships, governance, and help from our friends in the private sector, the sky is the limit. We can grasp the future direction of our country and pivot it to unending treasures that will benefit all. We can create a hub that is open to all and position the country as a gateway into sub-Saharan Africa and beyond. A Silk Road whose impact will solidify our position as the giant of Africa. Finally, it is my absolute pleasure to speak to all of you at this trade fair, and I look forward to proactive conversations on how we can open up the floodgates of opportunities in relation to our trade outlook. I shall proceed from here to go and cut the tape to declare the trade fair officially open. I thank you for your time, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Please, can we put our hands together for the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, FR, through his representative, His Excellency Otumba Niyi Adebayo, CON. Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Governor and all the courtesies duly extended, ladies and gentlemen, I was trying to bring you up to speed with the fact that His Excellency Otumba Adebayo, CON, is a Lagos boy. The truth be told, all his schooling from primary through to university took place here in Lagos. Akoka was his last port of call. And this gentleman loves Lagos so much. I can tell you of a fact, no weekend will pass by without him coming to Lagos. Don't ask me how I know. I'll let you know later. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, before the formal cutting of the tape to declare this 36th edition of the Lagos International Trade Fair open, I'd like to invite for a formal vote of thanks the Chairman, Trade Promotion Board, and the Vice President of the LCCI. Please put your hands together and welcome with me, Engineer Leye Kupoluyi. I think we can applaud him more resoundingly. He's the youngest man, going by his hair, the youngest one. Thank you.
Thank you. No mistake. Your Excellency, the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, though not here, ably represented by our brother, the well-known Lagos boy, Otumba Adeni Adebayo. The governor of Lagos State, not Lagos boy, Lagos landlord, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, our distinguished royal fathers, and we have the Olowo Forowo, who has ably entertained us with all the cultural display. Oba Ogoye, thank you for coming. And all our here, technology, and technology always comes with its own challenges. My royal fathers, Kábíyèsí o, àti nílé àtẹwàmàmbí, orí dọ̀bálẹ̀ làwà, orí adé agbèwà, ẹ ṣé o pé ẹ wà ń bí lénìí, ẹ mórí wa yá, ẹ ṣé gan-an. The Lagos State Executive Council, with the Commissioner, the National President of Nigerian Association of Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Ija, Your Excellencies, Member of Diplomatic Corps, Pewasi, Captain of Industries, the Deputy President of SCCI, Mr. Gabriel Idahosa, our immediate Chairman, the Deputy President, Mr. Konun, our past President here, all our past President, Ashiwaju, Onafokom, Mr. Babatunde Poro-Ache, and the Mama of the Chamber, Chief Mrs. Nike Akande. We are delighted to have all our honorary Vice President here today, the member of Trade Promotion Board, member of Council, our other officers, our value exhibitors, our partners, our distinguished guests, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. All existing protocol, the way I'm looking at everyone here, are we to mention everyone's name, and I'm sure the MC will take this microphone from me. I feel honored and privileged to get the opportunity to propose a vote of thanks to every distinguished personality on this special occasion of the 36th edition of Lagos International Trade Fair. On behalf of the President, Council, and member of Trade Promotion Board of Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I wish to express my gratitude to His Excellency, the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, General Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, the Executive Governor of Lagos State, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, the Honorable Minister for Industry again, our brother Otumba Adeni Adebayo, the very distinguished Royal Father, and the National President of Nasima, the media, and our value exhibitor, are highly honored present here today for the year 2022 Lagos Trade Fair. I guess to sustain the legacy project, we have one loyal patron, sponsors, partner, exhibitor to depend on over the years. Every one of our list for sponsor are stretching, including the biggest brand in Nigeria. We deeply cherish the friendship and cooperation and understanding. We particularly thank UBA, Aprexim, Dangote Group, Choice International Group, MTN, the United Food Limited, that is Indomie, Bank of Industry, Meccano International, Fadan and Investment Limited, Life Made Furniture, Bank of Federal Inland Revenue, Rightful, Nexim Bank, Media Partner, and all the honorable people here, and more visitors that are here. We say thank you very much. Our years of trade fair is known, just like New Year or Christmas. Every first Friday of the month of November, just add 10 days to that. For the next 10 years, for the next 20 years, is very constant. The first Friday of the year, November of the year at this time, we will be expecting you first Friday next year, 2022. Thank you all, and God bless.
Please, can we applaud Engineer Kukului? Can we applaud Engineer Kukului once again? And before we take the national anthem and His Excellency, Mr. President, and Mr. Governor, the Governor of Lagos State, will be going to cut the tape. I'd like to invite the President of the LCCI to please stand up to present our plaque of appreciation to our special guests of honor and our guests of honor at this event. Please, can we have the plaque very quickly? He will be presenting it to Mr. President just over there. Very quickly, can we have the plaque? And of course, to Mr. Governor. The plaque of appreciation. While that is going on, I seize this opportunity to invite each and every one of us to the Lagos State Day at the 36th edition of the Trade Fair. I'm sure Mr. Governor, Mr. Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, in his usual manner, has something special for everyone who comes on that day. It's on Sunday. And it's at, I think it's 12 noon. 13th, Sunday 13th at 12 noon. The Honorable Commissioner herself, she's the RSVP. She'll be at the entrance to welcome each and every one of us. Kabiesi, the Olowo of Owo Kingdom, Oba Ajibade Gbadegeshi, I'm sure you will come to witness Lagos hospitality and the kind that we will present to you on Sunday. Also, His Royal Majesty, the Ooni of Ife. Yes, now it's time for the presentation of our plaque of award, plaque of appreciation to Mr. Governor. Photographers, just stay there, please. Yes, can we please applaud the LCCI as they present this plaque of appreciation? Mr. Governor is receiving that plaque of appreciation. Yes, this is for all Lagosians, and it is the turn of Mr. President, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, through his representative, His Excellency Otumba Niyi Adebayo, CON, to receive the plaque of appreciation. Can we applaud Mr. President? Please. Yes, can we applaud Mr. President as we thank the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you very much. And with the presentation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, before Mr. President and Mr. Governor will be leading other dignitaries to cut the tape and declare the 36th Lagos International Trade Fair open, I crave your indulgence, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, that we please, okay, we need to capture that presentation once again. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. And immediately after the national anthem, we will crave the indulgence of Mr. President and Mr. Governor just up here to take a quick photograph so that we can have this on record, that indeed they came, they saw, and they conquered. The 36th edition of the International Trade Fair. At this point in time, may we please all rise for the national anthem. Can we all rise for the national anthem? Thank you very much. Mr. President, Mr. Governor, the President of the Chamber, please could you just step forward for that photograph? And thereafter, we will take just the three of them initially. Just the three initially, please. Just Mr. President, Mr. Governor, and the President of the Chamber. Thereafter, I respectfully invite the SGF and the wife of the President of the Chamber and other dignitaries to please join this photograph. The past presidents, Chief Mrs. Nike Akonde, CON, Ashiwaju Onofowokan, and indeed, please, all our past presidents, Otumbarun Shewe, Ruashe, beg your pardon. Please could you join us? Please could you join us very quickly, sir? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. President, Mr. Governor, the President of the Chamber, and our royal fathers. Mr. President, Mr. Governor, the President of the Chamber, and our royal fathers will take a photograph now. And our royal fathers. And our royal fathers. Please, the chamber has some gifts for our royal fathers. Please, can you get those gifts ready? Cameramen and photographers, please, let us afford our royal fathers some. Please, photographers and cameramen, please do not push our royal fathers. We thank you. As Mr. President and Mr. Governor will be taking the lead to formally declare the 36th edition of the Lagos International Trade Fair open. Please let us allow and accord Mr. President and Mr. Governor the right of way at this point in time, please. The White Cap Chiefs, your attention is needed. The White Cap Chiefs, please, your attention is needed. Your attention is needed, sir. Don't forget that Lagos State Day is on Sunday the 13th. Mr. Governor is cordially inviting each and every one of us